Tonight, the N in NWO figured out GG 1111 and highlights from the Trump speech last night. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. First of all, as I always do, I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed. You guys are really the salt of the earth. You're what make this channel work, and I thank each and every one of you. If you haven't yet, come on over to this landing page. There's a big red subscribe button here. Go ahead and click that. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. And that way you will get the videos as they become available, because as I always say, as soon as information becomes available to me, I make it available to you. And tonight we got a great episode. We've kind of went through everything up to this point. I want to go back and cover a few things, and then at the end of the episode, I want you all to stay tuned, because we're going to go through select clips from the speech given by Trump in Pennsylvania just last night. I got some great clips, stuff that he's shouting out the cue board, and I even think I have things where you can see Trump making the cue signal with his hand again and talking about very important issues that we're all going to want to look at. So first things first, though, I'm going to clarify a few things. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the Xi Jinping mistyped tweet. Was that an actual message to the ANON board? Had a lot of comments, had a lot of great commenters fill me in on the something I missed in the first video, which is really kind of obvious now, is that there was a XIXI. And what is XIXI? Well, that is actually the Roman numerals for 1111. Now, if we're going to just pull this up, let's see if I can pull this up a little more conveniently. Hold on, let me find this real quick. Okay, so here is the exact post by Q that we want to look at. 1111. Xi Jinping. It was misspelled, as I pointed out in my last video. The typo was here in the first letter of the last name, which was an X instead of a... Oh yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Let's pull this back up. Yeah, these boards reset, they refresh, so apologize for it jumping out there. But these two letters matched up, and it was XIXI, 1111. Is that the message that Trump was sending to us here? And what I want to point to in reference to that is the tweet where he puts out, "You are learning our comms." And we have this picture where he gives us 5 fingers and the 5. And it was Sig Red 55. So the other message that we're receiving now, apparently, is the 1111 and G. So it's a wink to our board. It's telling us that we've succeeded. It's his tweet to announce the fight is going in the right direction and we are making progress. So that I just thought was very interesting, and I wanted to get into it. Now, I want to talk about something that I heard from an incredibly reliable source for this information, I believe. I don't follow him to every single thing, but I'll give Dr. Jerome Corsi a 99% rating in being accurate, which is, to me, really good. A 99%. I mean, it's maybe 1% of stuff he is not sure of, and I think for me it's a little higher, maybe 10-20%, but for him, he's just spot on. He's a great person for analysis, and what he has come to the conclusion of is here regarding the N does not refer to Nazi post. He thinks it means Novus Order Seclorum, written on our dollar bill. It means in Latin, it actually means New Order of the Ages, and it's the name that they've adopted for the Illuminati, kind of like a way of them representing the fact that they own everything, they have their stamp on everything, also that they are for the ages, not for centuries or decades. It is a ages type order that is older than time, and that's what we're up against, I think, are people who have been rooted in this for millennia, or not millennia, let's say centuries, and their ties, their financial ties, their political ties, their power ties, everything like that goes to an incredible order that is just sitting right beneath the surface. So the first thing I want to show you now, this is going to go transition quite well into what the rest of this episode is going to be, and it's going to be me giving you highlights from Donald Trump's speech the other night, things I thought were important, places where I thought, he talks about the evilness in D.C., he talks about the North Korea deal, he talks about how Clinton and Bush messed that whole thing up and he also, in that same one, makes a Q signal with his hand again, and we're going to look at that. Then we have stuff like about CNN and Xi Jinping and Maxine Waters, but we're going to get into this first, and it's the first clip we're going to look at is Trump laying out the evil that is in D.C. So hold on one second, I'm going to pull it up.
And I think we're doing a good job for you. I hope so. We're working hard. It's not easy. That Washington, D.C., you got a lot of evil there, but we're getting it out step by step. A lot of evil. A lot of bad people. A lot of bad people. A lot of fake media. Look at them. A lot of fake media. Fake media.
So there you go. That's definitely a look at what Trump's laying out in the beginning. A great little clip there. Now, moving forward to him talking about the North Korea deal, I think this is a fascinating clip, and we'll go ahead and take a second and look at that.
You know, it's funny. I don't know if you saw it, but we've had a problem for years with North Korea. In fact, President Obama said it was the biggest problem we had. And South Korea went there. We put very, very strong sanctions and lots of other things we've been doing right from the first day I was in office. And South Korea came to my office after having gone to North Korea and seeing Kim Jong-un. And no, it's very positive, no. After the meeting you may do that, but now we have to be very nice because let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So the South Korean top people, top representatives, they walked out the White House to a throng of these characters. Big group. And everybody wanted to find out what happened. Now, they had just left North Korea. And look, North Korea's tough. They're testing nuclear weapons. They're doing a lot of things. This should have been handled, by the way, over the last 30 years, not now.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
When it should have been handled. They shouldn't have handled it. This should have been handled. And everybody will say it, too. But that's okay, because that's what we do. We handle things.
Yeah, we do handle things, and I think that's really important to point out. I'm going to break this down, hopefully, kind of like a Q post, because I think Donald Trump is a part of the Q collective. He is one of the Qs, and he does have the ability to speak. I think his last thing we actually saw from him is right here, where he says, "Glimpse, you cannot possibly imagine the size of this. Trust the plan. Trust there are more good than bad. The world is helping. We are not alone. We are all connected in this fight. Patriots unite. We are winning big." Who does that sound like? Watch the speech. God bless. Well, there you go in a nutshell. The campaign of Trump is really about some very incredible ideas that we need to get behind. And that's going to get me into the next one, where I think he's actually sending a signal to the board, talking about the Clinton-Bush era, when we go in and look at some of these posts from the past where you have him explaining, Q on the board here, explaining how corrupt the Bush and Clinton regimes are and were, and now you have Trump actually calling it out here in the speech. So hold on, I'll pull this up real quick. So guys, watch his hand here. Watch the hand gesture he makes.
But when the South Korean representatives who just left North Korea came outside, big throng of press.
Did you see that? Okay, we're going to back it up, and I'm going to play it again.
But when the South Korean representatives who just left North Korea came outside, big...
Play it one more time.
And there was a nice unity. It was really a nice thing. Really nice. But when the South Korean representatives who just left North Korea came outside, big throng of press, they announced that North Korea, Kim Jong-un, would like to meet with President Trump. No, this doesn't happen. You know, they're saying, oh, well, Obama could have done that. Trust me, he couldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that. He would not have done it. And by the way, neither would Bush and neither would Clinton. And they had their shot, and all they did was nothing. Well, Clinton gave away billions and billions of dollars. And as soon as they made the deal, the following day, they started working on making more nukes, okay? So that's not the great deal. You ever see the story where it's 1999, I'm on Meet the Press, a show now headed by Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd. He's a sleeping son of a bitch, I'll tell you.
Yes, Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd does host the show now, but to give you a reference to what he's talking about, let me show you that clip from Meet the Press in 1999. But before I do that, let me ask you guys, did you guys pick up on the same thing I did? The hand signal I tried to show you guys 3 times in a row there, where he's moving his hand in that gesture. If you guys want to look at it again, just hit the rewind button and check it out. But I tried to play this a few times because that stood out to me. And what he gets into next, after I'm going to show you this clip in the speech, really points to the cue board and what we've been going through here. So you guys, please just pay attention. And I'm going to play this clip from Meet the Press. Then I'll get back to the speech.
One is North Korea. And you say that you, as president, would be willing to launch a preemptive strike against North Korea's nuclear capability.
First, I'd negotiate. I would negotiate like crazy, and I'd make sure that we tried to get the best deal possible. Look, Tim, if a man walks up to you on a street in Washington, because this doesn't happen, of course, in New York, but if a man walks up and puts a gun to your head and says, give me your money, wouldn't you rather know where he's coming from before he had the gun in his hand? And these people, in 3 or 4 years, are going to be having nuclear weapons. They're going to have those weapons pointed all over the world, and specifically at the United States. And wouldn't you be better off solving this really potentially unbelievable, and the biggest problem, I mean, we can talk about the economy, we can talk about Social Security. The biggest problem this world has is nuclear proliferation. And we have a country out there in North Korea, which is sort of wacko, which is not a bunch of dummies, and they are going out and they are developing nuclear weapons. And they're not doing it because they're having fun doing it, they're doing it for a reason. And wouldn't it be good to sit down and really negotiate something, and ideally negotiate? Now, if that negotiation doesn't work, you better solve the problem now than solve it later, Tim. And you know it, and every politician knows it, and nobody wants to talk about it. Jimmy Carter, who I really like, and he went over there, it was so soft. These people are laughing at us.
The former general of the Air Force, Merrill McPeak, the former Secretary of Defense, Les Aspin, said you could not launch a preemptive strike against North Korea because the nuclear fallout could be devastating to the Asian Peninsula.
I'm not talking about us using nuclear weapons. I'm saying that they have areas where they're developing missiles.
No, but taking out their nuclear potential would create a fallout.
Tim, do you know that this country went out and gave them nuclear reactors, free fuel for 10 years? We virtually tried to bribe them into stopping, and they're continuing to do what they're doing, and they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of dummies. I'm saying that we have to do something to stop.
But if the military told you, Mr. Trump, we can't do this.
You give me 2 names. You're giving me 2 names. I don't know. You want to do it in 5 years when they have warheads all over the place, every one of them pointing to New York City, to Washington, and every one of our... Is that when you want to do it?
And that was Trump laying it out back there in 1999, his stance on Korea, which has not changed too much, apparently, considering all the facts given in the presidency so far. So we're going to go ahead and play the rest of the clip here, so go ahead and take a look.
And they showed it this morning, 1999, and I'm talking about North Korea. You got to take them out now. And then they have Clinton saying, we are pleased to announce that we have made a deal with North Korea. Well, you know how that deal turned out, right? We gave billions and billions of dollars and lots of other things, and we got nothing. But they show me young, handsome. I said, why couldn't I look like that today? I should have run back then, right? I should have run back then. I would have done this earlier.
So there's that clip. Now we're going to get into another interesting clip. And before we do that, I want to just take a moment to thank Golden State Times for posting this video. This does, in my opinion, fall under the category of fair use. and I am building a commentary off of this video. But thank you in advance for all of your hard work to bring this information out there, and just thank you for bringing the president's speech up and putting it online. So moving forward, this was a great one where they point to CNN and how the crowd thinks of them, as well as how the president thinks of them.
Fantastic. This is amazing. A certain anchor on CNN, fake as hell, CNN. The worst. Oh, so fake. Fake news. And their ratings are lousy, by the way, and compared to Fox, their ratings.
So there you go. That was just a interesting little moment there. But now here's an interesting clip where we're talking about Bush in the Middle East, where Trump kind of goes into this whole thing where he explains that it's not just Obama, it's everyone. And it's just like Hugh has been pointing to. It is everyone who is involved at the highest levels of government.
Gave away the House. They got nothing. And Bush, another great Republican. He got us into the Middle East. That was a great. We spent $7 trillion in the Middle East over a 17-year period. $7 trillion as of 3 months ago. Okay? You know what they did? That was like taking a big stone and throwing it into a hornet's nest. But we're bringing it back. ISIS. We have 98% of the caliphate of the land back. 98.
So you hear that, we've taken 97-8% of the caliphate back. We're crushing ISIS. It's all a fake narrative to push us further away from the fact that a lot of people sold us down the river. Here's a great joke he made about Xi Jinping being president for life. I'm going to let you guys listen to that.
Sure. Anybody could have gotten President Xi, president for life. That was another one. So he's president for life. It happened 2 days ago. And I was joking. I was at a roast, actually. But I was joking, and I said, president for life, that sounds good. Maybe we're going to have to try it. Maybe we're going to. President for life. But I'm joking. And they knew everybody in the room was laughing. Everybody's having a great time. I'm joking about being president for life. A couple of them went back. Donald Trump, with his dictatorial attitude, now wants to be president for life. Straight. Fake news. Fake.
Truer words have never been said. I mean, it's what they did. They took a joke he made at a dinner that's kind of like a roast, and then they turn it into this headline story that he wants to be a dictator. That's what they do. I think that's what he's pointing out. Now we're going to get into the next one, and it's really an interesting point to some very fascinating things here. He's talking about what we talked about in the Q board, and we were talking about bad steel coming in. I think that this is him kind of giving us that reference and explaining his thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Hold on one.
Coming back, big. Your steel is coming back. Those plants are going to be opening. And what we've done with the 25% tariffs for those guys that come in and dump their steel all over the place. And by the way, it's not good steel. You guys know what I mean. It's crap. But
So, I mean, there you go. He kind of points out the fact that the steel that has been coming in is crap. I think that was alluded to in the Q post. So it's kind of like future proofs past. Another great proof of Q here. That we're seeing in Trump's speeches, because he is a part of the QAnon collective, in my opinion. Now, one of my favorite parts of this whole night, this whole speech, was the Oprah comments. He is so excited for Oprah to run. and he lays it out. He says, look, I got the dirt on her. There is no way she would stand a chance, hold a candle, even have a thought or a glimpse in the space of the universe to have a chance at winning presidency because of the information Trump has. Let's go ahead and hear it. It is pretty incredible. Here, hold on.
To be honest with you, I think any of them. Oh, I'd love Oprah to win. I'd love to beat Oprah. I know her weakness. No, I know her weakness. I know her. I know her very well. I was on her last show, or one of the last, I guess the last week. She had Donald Trump and Donald Trump's family. My, we've come down a long way, haven't we? I'm now president, and probably, but think of it. I know her weakness. Wouldn't we love to run against Oprah? I would love it. I would love it. That would be a painful experience for her.
Painful experience for her. I just love those words. I think it all ties back to her connections to Harvey Weinstein, her connections to Hollywood, her connections to some nefarious activities in certain places. And that would just be a blast to go ahead and go through that with her. Now, here's something that's very interesting. Here is Donald Trump's new campaign slogan. And I'll let him introduce it. So go ahead and take a listen right now. This is big. This is Donald Trump's new campaign slogan.
Slogan, when we start running in, can you believe it, 2 years from now, is going to be Keep America Great, exclamation point. Keep America great.
Keep America great, exclamation point. Keep America great. All right, I love it. So now we're going to have to come up with a new set of memes and hashtags and all that stuff. Keep America great, KAG, exclamation point. There you go. It's not as catchy as MAGA yet, but we can make CAG, exclamation point, 2020 viral. I know we can. You guys help me out in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. I think that's kind of funny. Now, a lot of people have pointed to this next part as being a shout out to the Q board, where he says that Maxine Waters has a low IQ. I think that's possible. Do I also think it's really possible that he just thinks she has a really low IQ? Yes. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
And Maxine Waters, a very low IQ individual. You ever see her? You ever see her? We will impeach him. We will impeach the president. But he hasn't done anything wrong. It doesn't matter. We will impeach him. She's a low IQ individual. You can't help it. She really is. We will impeach him. But you have Maxine Waters, and you have plenty of others.
So that to me is kind of funny, just looking at Maxine Waters, and he does a great impersonation. It's spot on perfect. Good job, Mr. President. I've gotten a lot of flack, actually, just to go off on a little topic tangent here, that I don't address Donald Trump as Mr. President or President Trump or President Donald Trump every single time. But it's hard, as I said before, in shorthand, especially in these commentaries, to do that every single time. But he is my president. I do respect that title. And I think that's hilarious, the way he calls out Maxine Waters for having a low IQ. So let's get right into the next one. We got some pretty interesting comments here. So the next one's going to be about DACA and the gunplay. Now, why is this so important? And I'm going to explain it right now. Okay, so this is something that I've said in a lot of my videos here. So let me explain this. He explains in exact detail how he got the DACA thing. He put it up, and then Congress asked for too much, and they booby-trapped themselves, and now they can't get anything passed. And I think that's the exact same play he made with the guns. He made a conciliation that's going to upset a lot of people, but ultimately it won't lead to any actual change in the right of the Second Amendment. If anything, it motivates the base to become more active, i.e. call your senator and make those types of things possible. So I'm going to get into it, but he explains it perfectly. So if you just take this DACA play that he plays out for you here, and then apply it to the gun thing, I think you'll have an exact understanding of where Trump comes from when it comes to these policy issues. So go ahead and take a look at this.
Appreciate it too. But he's really good. Here's the thing. We're dealing with people that want to obstruct. They want to stop us from doing things. We put an infrastructure bill in for $1.7 billion, and I hear they want to stop it. They want to stop DACA. DACA is their issue. But I'm willing to go along. Get it done. We got to get it done, right? Get it done. And besides that, honestly, we need good, great workers in our country, because I'm bringing a lot of companies into this country. We're not going to have workers for it. We have to bring them in. But DACA, they're here. They're good people. And the Democrats are trying to not do so. I offered a deal that was so good you can't refuse, right? Like the mob pictures. I'll give you a deal that's so good you can't refuse. I made a deal. I gave them a deal so good they could not refuse. And I did it because I thought they were going to refuse. And they did. And they're getting killed now by the DACA recipients. They're getting killed. But
so there you go. I mean, okay, let's explain this in a nutshell if you didn't catch it there in the actual speech. Now, in that regard, I kind of want to lean toward agreeing with him. Yes, we need some foreign workers. Nothing is ever going to be balanced to a point where we have a zero-sum outcome. There's going to be people who need to come in. There's going to be people who need to come in to fill spots in our economy that otherwise wouldn't be filled. That doesn't mean we need to just open the borders and let everybody come in as much as they want and give them welfare. That's insane. That will bankrupt our country and destroy it. But in defense of what Trump's saying, he's saying, okay, so we give a few people amnesty, 1.8 million, and then we have a deal talking about, putting other people at the front of the line and having them go through legally and making them work to become American citizens, because it's about work. You don't come to this country if you cannot work or don't want to work. We don't, it's one thing to say we'll take refugees from war zones, but we're not going to take lazy people who are just threatened because they live in a lower economic area, if that makes sense. I'm not saying anybody's lazy. I'm just saying that a lot of these people who come here and just leech off the system are lazy. And it's not just people who come from outside the country. There are people inside the country that do that as well. But ultimately, what he's trying to point out here is that there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. But then the gunplay, I think it's the same thing. He can't openly lay out the whole strategy, but I think right there he gave you an insight that is invaluable, and that what he's doing with the gun thing is very similar. He's made a conciliation to say, okay, 21 and bump stocks banned. Now, I know there's a lot of NRA, there's Second Amendment people who are so hardcore out there who think giving up anything is a step in the wrong direction. I like to tend to be that exact same way. But at the same time, I'm pragmatic, and I think, okay, if I've heard people tell me, you can put your thumb in your belt loop and make the same kind of automatic. I mean, these are Marines telling me, some of my good friends telling me, you can put your thumb in your belt loop and make a automatic gun. Or and then as far as the 21 thing, yeah, I understand it's going to be tough for a lot of kids. I don't believe that that's fair. I think that should be taken out. I think if you're 18 and you can go fight in the war, you should be able to own a gun legally. That I certainly support. But I mean, those kind of things are issues that are up for debate. Now, the next thing we're going to get into, because we have another Q reference, in my opinion. Now, watch his hand here. I'll play it a couple times, but he makes a hand reference, and then he talks about the EU. He talks about Angela Merkel's Germany, their German cars, their BMWs and the Mercedes. I think this is all related back to the Q board. You guys let me know what you think in the comments, but we're going to go ahead and look at this one point here, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's take a look. Hold on one second.
The party line. He doesn't care about us. But for getting your votes, he's talking about how much he likes Tara. He doesn't care about us. But for getting your votes, he's talking about how much he likes. He doesn't care about us. But for getting your votes, he's going to vote the party line. He doesn't care about us. But for getting your votes, He's
Okay.
talking about how much he likes tariffs.
That makes me look like a Q signal to me. Listen to what he has to say. Think of it in relation to Germany, Angela Merkel, Q posts, and you guys let me know what you think.
Which is my baby, and I took a lot of heat over that. But let me tell you, all these countries now are calling up. We don't want the tariffs. What do we have to do? European Union, they kill us. Sounds good. A lot of us came from the European Union, different countries, right? Sounds nice. They kill us on trade. So we put on tariffs, and the European Union's out there. Well, we're going to put on. I said, you can't go any higher than you are anyway. And they have trade barriers. We can't even sell our farming goods in there. They totally restrict us. So then they say, we want those tariffs taken off. I said, good. Open up the barriers and get rid of your tariffs. And if you don't do that, we're going to tax Mercedes-Benz. We're going to tax BMW. You want to have money? You want to have money come into our country? And you know, the cars are really the big item. That's the big money item. So when I said that, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, let's stop talking with this guy. You know?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's exactly it in a nutshell. He threatened them and said, look, you guys need to capitulate. You guys are tariffing. You guys have tariffs on our exports, and you guys are basically robbing us blind, just like China. So how are you any better? Okay? And people like Angela Merkel, who may or may not have relations to the Nazis and Hitler, I mean, I've looked into that briefly. It's kind of a complicated story. You have a half-mother, you know, somebody who was divorced, and then she had a baby with somebody who may or may not have had another baby with Hitler, and then that baby had a baby that may or may not have been Angela Merkel. That's kind of an interesting story in and of itself. That might be for another video. But I mean, just looking at this, we have a lot of stuff to go through here. But this is going to be pretty much the last part of this speech that really stood out to me. A lot of it's interesting. You should go check out the Golden State Times and watch their full video at their website. I'll probably put a link to it in the comments, and that way you can go give them some love and support. But this is fascinating to me when you look at what he talks about with the drug dealer epidemic. Now, there's been a scourge on this country for the last, I don't know how many decades, with opioids. And the rich have destroyed our country with them. And Trump talks about in his speech, which I encourage you to go watch the Golden State Times full version to get an idea of what he talks about. But he's looking at different ways that Asia has avoided having a scourge of a drug problem. And it's quite simply put, they believe in the death penalty for drug dealers. Now, I'm not for that for people of smaller offenses and things that I think should be legal when it comes to like marijuana. If you're a dealer or you're a user, I mean, life, it should be a penalty. At worst, it should be a slap on the wrist. At best, it should just be free and legal. But when it comes to hard drugs, you know, cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, whatever, those other things, I'm a firm believer that a firm hand and a harsh policy is what's necessary. And this is a very great point that Trump brings up here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Not much of a drug problem. I said, what do you attribute that to? Well, the death penalty. So, hey, if you're a drug dealer and you know you're going to get caught and you know that you're going to kill people, you're killing our kids. They're killing our kids. They're killing our kids. They're killing our families. They're killing our workers.
And it's a scourge, and it's a scourge on this land. So that's pretty much exactly what we have. These are the latest Q posts. We kind of went over them. It's funny, though, and I think another thing that people pointed out, just to get into something that I just picked up on, is that the assassination of JFK was a documentary or something that's being ran on CNN all the time. Obviously, these people are sick, and they're sick-minded because they are using that as a threat, some kind of veiled threat, it seems, that, you know, in my opinion, I'm not sure. But that is something to be looked at, and yeah, that's just really disturbing. Now, I just want to say that's going to be it for tonight's episode. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're looking for a way to support the channel, which we can certainly use all the support we can get at this point, there's a big red button here that says subscribe. Go ahead and click that. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. As soon as the information becomes available to me, I make it available to you, and that's the beauty of this channel. Also, if you're looking for a way to contribute, which is even better, it's to go down and make a comment. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me your opinion. I want to know exactly what you guys think about everything. I've been reading through all the comments. There's thousands that I've went through, thousands more to go. But I'll get to each and every one of them. So I promise that to you. Then I want to thank you all for your contributions. As I like to say, we have a little ANON research board at the end of each one of these videos, and it's in the comments. You guys need to go check it out. If you guys don't do anything else, go down and check the comment board. You guys will most likely, 99% will learn something you did not know previously, and there's a great group of people down there who make a great set of contributions. Now, if you're looking for another way you can contribute, you can come over here to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/justinformtalk. Or you can come to patreon.com and put justinformtalk in the search bar. When you do that, you'll come to this landing page right here. You can click the red button to become a patron. And you can check out my rewards and check out my goal. It's cool to get involved. You can earn an email correspondence with me, Craig, and or you can become a featured Patreon patron of an episode, and that's also awesome as well. So I want to thank everybody for checking it out. Also, go ahead and check me out on DTube, d.tube. It will be my backup channel. I've got it up and running. I have a few videos posted. I'm trying to just kind of shadow post everything just in case anything happens to this channel, which I'm confident that nothing will, but you never know. I put my faith in God, and we'll see where that takes us. But that is certainly something to check out. If you have time, go to d.tube, and you will be able to search Just Informed Talk, and you'll see my page right there. Now, in finishing, I want to talk about something I talk about at the end of each episode, which is really important to me, and that is God's grace, and it is greater. And for all of you who see this negatively, I just want to tell you, keep your hope up. And all of you who have given me such positive feedback, hopes, prayers, thoughts of joy, it's all impressively awesome. And God is certainly the one we should attribute all our success to, and we should hitch our wagon to the Lord and Jesus and make sure that we know that only through them will we actually defeat evil and win this battle of good versus evil that Trump so knowingly points out here, not just in his speech, but with Q and posting in these forums and pointing to all the evil that we see just in this circle of individuals. From here, you know, from the Clintons to the Bushes to the Obamas, you know, it's just something that we have to be weary of, and we need to do the research to figure out what was wrong and what it's not good. If you guys want, I'll put that link in the description as well with the video, but just remember that we're fighting a battle versus evil here, and prayer is our number one weapon, and faith in God is paramount for us to succeed. And if you've been weak in your faith lately, if you've been unsure, atheist, agnostic, just not strong in your faith, all I want you to do is say a little prayer and open your heart to God, and watch how that will blossom into a beautiful flower that will show for the world for its beauty, show to the world for its beauty, and it will present others with the chance to embrace God's love. And that's the most important thing. That's why this whole channel exists. It's why we're here on earth, is to praise his name and spread his word. So I want to say thank God for everything. I pray for all of you, and I pray for all of you to be blessed and to be safe, and to keep bringing this amazing content with just in the comments, and your thoughts and prayers are amazing. So that's going to be it for today. Again, if you want to come over to the landing page here, make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. You'll get this information as soon as it comes available to me. I want to say thank you for watching. I'm Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. God bless and Godspeed.